All right. All right, guys. So I wanted to today spend some time reviewing the that tuning, that open C chord tuning, so that we can run through some ideas again about playing with it, and also review the Spanish Fandango, because I want to make sure that you guys have a chance to play that song in a way that suits you, right? And you can experiment with it with different picking patterns, different strums, muting these strings. I mean, the list goes on and on, of course, as it would with any song. So we'll just dig into that a little bit. So make sure your first string is tuned from A down to G. And we're gonna fiddle around a little bit. Now, one of the things that I want us to do to start with is just strum your open C, okay? And then we're gonna find the F and the G like we did last week. So F, you're gonna bar across that first fret. F, you can put a finger, have buddies there on that 5th fret there. For F, 2 frets up is G, right on. Back down to F. Yeah, nice. Okay, and open for C. Just gotta, whoop, there we go, open for C. Now I'm gonna do A minor, but then I have to adapt it because of that tuning. So that's where I've got my finger on that 2nd fret of the 1st string. Yep, good. Okay, let me just make sure. There we go. Yeah, good. Okay, now open C chord. A minor. The for anyone that's just shown up, we've tuned our first string down to G again. Okay, so we're in that open C chord tuning. So let's walk up a little bit. So we've got our C, it's open, our A minor, so we've adapted that with that 2nd fret. Okay, let's find our F chord. Okay, and F is on the 5th fret. Ooh, I'm gonna slide. And I mash my fingers down on the 3rd, or my finger down on the 3rd fret or the 4th. Try a little sliding if your hands feel like it, if your fingers feel comfy. Let's try it again. Slide, 2, 3, 4, slide. Yeah. Okay, let's slide up to our G. Ready? G is on our 7th fret. G. Yeah, nice. Okay, back down to F. My slide there was kind of quiet. Okay, now let's go back up to G. You slide if you want. If you don't want to, that's okay too. Okay, now I'm going to go back down. And I'm going to click a little button. Yep, there we go. I'm going to go to that A minor again. Ready? A minor. Yeah, right on. Good. And C. Vicky, we're tuned down again. We've got our first string tuned down to a G from an A. Okay, so kind of a cool sound you could get there to make your A minor. What I'm doing there is I'm strumming my opens and I'm hammering on with these 2 fingers. And if the split between those 2 fingers doesn't feel comfortable, try these 2 guys, okay? These 2, because they sit there. I often do that. See that, where I've got these 2 fingers on? Like if we're tuning down and playing around, we might as well really play, right? So I do all my opens, and then I hammer on to fret 2 on string 4 and string 1 to make that A minor chord. And I don't really take my time with that hammer on. I go pretty quick. I guess kind of quick. I am treating it like an 8th note. 1 and 2, 3, 4, hammer on. Yeah. It can be fun with this sort of thing, decorating the first beat of a measure. So decorating it, sliding to the first beat of the measure, like when you're playing the chord, or hammering on and really defining the sound of that chord. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. The hammering on two notes can be very tricky because you've got to coordinate the two of them. And of course, we're human beings. Our fingers are different lengths and our hands sit in different ways. So you may say to yourself, I don't know if I can do that yet. Pick a finger and hammer on. Just do one. What's going to happen if you do one? Nothing. You're going to have a fun time. There you go. I'm going to try hammering on over here with a finger. So I can hear it more clearly here because it's a higher pitched note. Also, really, my strings are worn to death. I need to change them. I should have changed them this past week, but I was so busy. I want you guys to keep practicing hammering on while I do this. I was so busy writing and playing, I forgot to change my strings. Slide up to your F now. Do you remember where your F is? Think about it. Think about it. Yep. Haha, F chord, yeah. Okay, head on up to your G. Here we go. Oh yeah. Back down to F. Quick quiz. Can you find your E? Just on your 4th fret. Yeah, right on, you guys. Okay, and then your D. 2nd fret for your D. Oh yeah. If you can play the C major scale going up one string, I'll say the fret numbers so it's recorded. Fret numbers are 0. 2nd fret is D. Whatever that note name is there on that 3rd string, that'll be the name of the chord that you can play there. So that's a D. If you bar across, that's a D. 4th fret is an E. There's your E. Okay. 5th fret is an F. We already know that, but let's just really define that. So then there's our F chord. 7th fret, 3rd string is a G. There's our G. 9th fret is an A. Now we're playing an A minor down here, but keeping in the idea of just playing a major bar chord, here's an A major. It sounds so perky. Okay. Fret 11 is your B. And fret 12, if you can get up there, it's another C. Sliding back like that can feel kind of funny. But what I did was I kept some pressure down and just strummed like crazy, bit my lip, and away I went. So that is right there. The thought of having bar chords going up and down the fretboard is a really good case for you knowing the names of the notes on that 3rd string. Right? Just know your C chord on one, or C scale on one string. Then you can find all those notes right there. So it's a nice starting point. One could also argue, well then, practice a chromatic scale and say all your note names going up and down that fretboard. Because of course, again with this open tuning, every stop on the fretboard, well, there's a chord. But you got to start somewhere, right? Like if you do everything all at once, it can feel a bit daunting, right? So I proposed the C major scale to get you going. Okay. C major scale, I'm going to write down the fret numbers for playing it all on the 3rd string. I'll just write that down in the chat, so that's right there. And I'll say it too, so it's recorded. So the fret numbers are 0 for your C. Oops. You know what? I'm just going to put the fret numbers down. It's going to become a big schmozzle if I do everything. So 0 for C, 2nd fret for D, 4 for E, 5 for F, 7 for G, 9 for A, 11 for B, and then 12 for C. And actually, I think I can do this. I think I can make it tidy. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I'm being tidy and thoughtful. Yes. Okay. I put in the names of the notes in the chat there. There. So if you need to, you can copy that down. That's all on the 3rd string. I have a nice little information sheet about those notes. I'll see if I can find it and put it on the website. I was looking for it a while ago in another song and I couldn't find either one of those things, so I kind of feel like it might be saved on one computer rather than on my cloud. So anyway, practicing that C major scale would be a nice way to practice these bar chords. Now let's just lay down a 12-bar blues and we'll hang out with that. So 12-bar blues, we're going to play our C chord for 4 bars. Okay. And I'll guide you guys through it. Then we're going to go up to our F for 2 bars. And then it's going to be C, C, G, F, C, and then maybe we'll go, yeah, I think we will. We'll go back up to the G. All right, so let's start on our C. I'm just going to swing it a little bit. I'll be like, so C is our open. That's really handy. 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. C, C, C. One more bar. 1, 2. Here we go to F. One more bar. Back to C. C, C. Here comes G. And F. And C. Turn around. And G, 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 G. And now back down to C. Let's do it. C. It's fun, hey? 2 more bars. Get ready for F. 1, 2, here we go. F, C, C. Here comes your G. F, C. 1, 2, da, 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 da. Here we go again. What did I do there? I'm going to stop us right there. I did my G for 3 strums. 1, 2, 3. Went down to G flat and then did my F. So I'm going to do it again. On the 4th beat is where I changed. On my G, 1, 2, 3, switch, F chord, and C. 1, 2, let's try it again like that, all fancy. Ready? And I was going like this. 1, 2, 2, oh, 2, oh, 1, 2, 2, oh, 2. Just add a little shazah. Okay? And then I did it up here too. I went F, F, ba da ba da. If you feel comfortable doing it, go for it, right? Let's just play around. Okay, here we go again. Ready? 1, 2, oh, 1, 2, ready, go. C, C, da, 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 da. 2 more bars. Last one. 1, 2, 3, da, back to C. 2, 3, 4, G. C, C. Okay, let's practice that part there again. So If you want to, you can play that little breakdown part, like actually numerous different ways. Here's what I'm thinking. We can do our G for 4 strums. 1, 2, 3, 4 to F. 1, 2, 3, 4 down to C. Turn around, which we're just going back up to the G. Okay, so that's option 1, which is plenty good. What I did though was I threw in a little chromatic walk. Okay, I went like this. I went G for 3 strums. 1, 2, 3, G flat to F. 2, 3. In terms of fret numbers, I went 7, 7, 7, 6, 5, 5, 5, 5. I'll say that again. 7, 6, 5. Okay, I want to check in and see how you guys are feeling about this little open chordy bit there. Is it making kind of sense for you? It's kind of fun. All right, let's do it again. This is just a nice way to practice those names of the notes on the 3rd string, barring, and playing a 12-bar blues progression with nothing in front of you except maybe the notes you're making. Okay, here we go again. You guys ready? Oh my gosh, look at the size difference between those 2 amps. There's that little teeny weeny PV Rage and then this gigantic Marshall behind. I didn't realize how funny it looked. A little tiny cube there. Whatever. Here we go. 1, a 2, a 1, 2, ready, C. C. 2 more bars. 1, 2, here we go. Oh, whoops. C. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. There's lots of extra things. Oh no, I lost count. There's lots of extra things you can toss in. But if you do this, just 2-0-2-0, right? Strum, strum, 2-0-2-0. And I'm just strumming the whole time. I'm just doing straight strum, 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 and then 2-0-2-0. And as I strum up, that's when I'm hitting the open. Remember when I first started changing notes while I was strumming? It was hard. I just sit and practice. Finger goes up, well, the thumb goes up. Those motions can be tricky. But let's do a victory lap one more time through. And if you say to yourself, I don't want to do that now. I just want to solo. Well, do it. Have fun with it. Find your 2s. Let's see. No, da, da. Oh, it's a G already, so. Ooh, 5-0-2-0 would sound kind of cool. I would suggest you play around with that first string and see what notes you find that you like the sound of. Because it's the one that's tuned a little different. You may as well just have a good time with it, right? All right, here we go. I'll start on that C chord. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, go. C. 2 more bars. 1, 2, change and go. Bum, bum. C. Here comes G. don't know, just play some random notes. There is a lot to be said for just goofing around, you know, fiddle around, see what you like the sound of. Just explore and enjoy, right? Sue, I know you just joined us, and we are in an open C chord tuning. So what that amounts to is your A string, your first string, has been tuned down to a G. So take a second and tune yourself down. Okay, so we played around, we found our chords. Maybe you did maybe you added in that little chromatic bit. Maybe you're like, nah, keep it straight. It sounds pretty good either way. It depends. I mean, this is music. It's subjective. It's personal. It's what you want it to be. My hope is that anytime you're sitting around out on a front porch, maybe you got your Adirondack chairs out on your front porch so people know which house is yours in your community, and you're like, I'm going to go out and I'm going to play the blues and entertain my whole neighborhood. Maybe Don will do that this afternoon. I don't know. He knew I was picking on him, I think, as soon as I said Adirondack chairs. Yellow Adirondack chairs. I had big plans to go camping yesterday, or not necessarily camping, but just find a place to have a campfire at one of the campgrounds. On a Saturday afternoon when it's really nice out, it turns out most of the local campsites are all booked up, but I got high hopes for Monday, and I'm going to take out, again, steel string guitar, a mandolin, and a ukulele, and maybe a nylon string too. Just load up the back of the van and go play. And I'm not concerned about how I play or what I play. I just go have fun. And I hope you guys do the same thing with all this open chord tuning. It's a fun place to be. Also, you might want to try Travis picking. Remember all that work we did on Travis picking before? Try it on these open chords. It can be a lot of fun for the open chord tuning. Let me see. Right? Just get that picky going again, and start it back with this. If you've forgotten all your Travis picking, do I ever have any wildlife visitors? I get deer. There's raccoons out here. I could play for the deer as they eat my raspberries. Kind of fight with them. Go back to this. If you're like, wow, Travis picking, that was so long ago, Tina, I don't remember any of that. Go back to that idea. And then when you feel ready, just split up the inside. Out, inside, and bring it back. And then while you're doing that, oh, when I take all my gear out into the wilderness, no, I'm so noisy, no one comes near me. You kidding me? Birds fly overhead, probably waiting for me to die. Like, oh, some hawks are waiting. All right, check this out. I'm keeping the Travis picking going, and I'm just messing around with that first string. That's it. That's it. Take the idea of the notes from, oh my gosh, how could I forget the name of the song? The Fandango. The notes from the, yeah, a lot of it actually. Take that idea and just play around and move up and down those strings while you're Travis picking. And it's a good time, boy. There we go. Be inspired by what you play and the techniques you've built up to create what you want to. That's what I have to say about that. Have fun with it. Okay, so again, I'll play a little bit more just as an example. So I'm going to Travis pick. I've got my ukulele right here, so hopefully you can. Nothing hard, or maybe you're like, cool, right? So I'm going to go up, oh, I don't know, 12. 10. 7. I'm going to go down to 5 next. Oh, I like that sound. I'm going to go back up to 7. Why not, right? Let's try 12 again. Woo! Ready for 10? I'm going to do 9 next. Here we go. 9. Okay, here comes 7. And if you're not comfortable Travis picking right now, if you've forgotten it, just play those notes. Here comes 5. And 4. Oh, I like that one. Here comes 2. Open. G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Those are the notes, so just a little bit of a different positioning than the C scale that I was talking about. But if you play those notes, whatever you play is going to sound good. Or if you strum it. Whoa, yeah. Just make sure you don't stray too far away. Or although if I strummed it a whole bunch, then I could have just pretended that was intentional. It's a good time, just all that strumming, picking, strumming. So let's take a look now at that Fandango and see what we can do with it, just in terms of playing it. So because there's inspiration you can draw from all these different songs, right? There's inspiration from learning picking pattern, like Travis picking, or any picking pattern, strum patterns. But sometimes changing that tuning of your instrument can open your mind up in a different way, you know, to think about playing in a different way. And just being able to strum up and down the fretboard like that and have everything sound pretty okay. It's a nice feeling too. Of course, a lot of that happens the same way with the ukulele in its standard tuning, but we're experimenting. All right, Spanish Fandango. I remember we played around with it a little bit last week. Actually, I think we played around with it quite a bit, but you guys were pretty confident playing it as we went, especially in the second page, because all that barring you'd already practiced by just playing around with 12-bar blues and everything, right? So that kind of removes the stress of thinking about that. Now I'm going to just share the song. I'm going to sit and play it. There we go. So keep in mind, anytime you have a song that has the tuning listed up here, or sometimes it's right along the side of the tablature, take a look and make sure that it's not something weird going on there, right? Like a different tuning. All right, so I'm just going to sit and play along, or just listen, whichever works for you. And I should be able to. There we go. Here we go. So I won't go too fast, and it's going to be a pinch and then a pluck pluck. I'm going to use my thumb for most of the plucking, but not all of it. There we go. I'll count in twice. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 9 to 7 to 5. All open. Here comes that kind of G7. And again, back to open, C. Third line, now back up to the 9th fret. To 7, to 5, and open. Okay, 4th line, that G7 kind of shape, and open. And that right there, pretty nice. If you want to carry on, then we've got, what are we on, line 5 there, back with that sort of G7 shape. I say sort of because we don't have our ring finger down. Here we go. And C. Pinch, pluck, pluck, I'll slow it back down. And C. Okay, we're at measure 25 now, and fret 5. 7, 9, open. Last line on the page there with G7. And now we're going to lay our ring finger down on that 2nd fret and opens. This little bit here, just remember from last week, measure 29 and 30. If you keep your fingers down here on the 2 and the 1, that'll allow you to become a bit more confident with the fingering in the next bar as it slowly builds there. Now, I know there's 2 notes here, 2nd measure before the end there on that line. I can't highlight them. There we go, those 2. Do a little strum with your thumb if you want, or just play the arpeggio as you normally would with strings 4, 3, 2, whatever works for you, okay? You make it work for you. So playing to this, it's another C chord there. Playing to that could be totally done. That's what we talked about last week. It sounds pretty good right there. But now, we're moving on. Okay, into bar land. So we're going to start with our F chord, then down to our C, our G chord, down to our C, and then when we hit the 4th, when we're barring there, that's our E chord, to our F chord on the 5th fret, G, and then back to our C chords. And I'm sure you guys know all those chord names already. You're like, 5th fret, that's an F, I've got it all memorized. Or maybe not. Okay, here we go. On the 5th fret, I'll count us in twice again. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. On our 5. And open for our C. Next line, we're on our G on our 7th fret. Back to C for open. Pinch, pluck, pluck. 4th fret, E. Oh, I like that sound. Up to our 5th fret for F. Okay, here comes our G on our 7th. And our C. Identical ending to the section we just finished, right? Absolutely identical. All right, now here comes variation time. We've got, and you guys might have already played through all of this really hard, but I just want to do like a little review too, right? So we've got the 9, we've got a pinch, and then a double stop. 2 fingers plucking there. That's where I usually use my, well, let's see. I'm going to use my index and middle finger to pluck those. I'm going to use my bunny ear fingers in there, rather than using a thumb and a finger, because I want the sound to be consistent. Thumb's a strong digit. If you have the 2 fingers working together, they're more likely to have the same volume between the 2 strings, so that's why I'm doing that. Doesn't mean you have to. I just wanted to give you the reasoning for me doing that. All right, so we've got a bit of a variety now, right? We've got the pinch, the double stop pluck, and then when it hits the 5th fret, we're going back to our pattern that we just did. So be ready. It's almost like some sort of test or something in this section. Okay, ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. Pinch, double, stop, 7th fret, pinch, double, stop. Okay, bar on the 5. And then open C. Next line, that's sort of G7 with the double stops. Oh, full G7 shape. Opens with the double stops. Okay, bar 57, so back to the 9. Pinch, double, stop, 7, double, stop, barring across the 5. Phew, open. Next line, full G7 shape. Reach with your, whatever finger gets you to that 4th fret, good, and opens. Strum on the 5. All right, last part, it's golden. Here we go, bar 65. We're used to this sort of stuff now. Okay, here comes our 7th fret. Okay, and opens for C. I'm on measure 71. Here comes our 4th fret, E. Oh, I'm speeding it up again. I'm so used to playing it fast. Last line, slow it down. 7. Okay, you know what? Let's do that 5 again, because look at that. We've got the little arpeggio running through that first one, then a double stop pluck on the second one. Wow, pay attention. The road map's gone all crazy here. Okay, here we go. Last line. 1, 2, 3. Arpeggio. Now pinch and then double stop. Up to 7th fret, pinch and double stop. And then just a fancy little. Okay, that's enough of playing it exactly how it's written. Let's just goof around a little bit now. All right. This is my zone to play around. Those 4 lines. That's where I like to be all. I just start strumming. I go back and I just strum. So I'm going to do a down, down, up, down for most of it. Whatever I see there, I'm just going to slap it all down and do a down, down, up, down. Do it with me, you guys. It'll be fun. Here we go. Measure 49. I'll try not to get too fast. So we're going to strum everything. We're not going to pinch or pluck anything. We've got a 9th fret and open strings. That's what we're going to do. Here we go. 1, 2, and 3, and 1, 2, and 3, and down, down, up, 7th fret, same thing. Bar on your 5. All opens now. Yeah. Next line with that sort of G7. There you go. Yeah, right on. Now we're all opens for the C's. Okay, measure 57. We've got that 9th fret again. 7th fret. Yeah, right on. Bar on your 5. And open. Now I'm right here on measure 61. Here we go. On that sort of G7 shape. Here we go. Ready, go. Next one, full G7. I'm going to keep strumming. Ready? Let's just strum like crazy now. We've got our barring on our 5th. This is kind of like what we were doing with the 12-bar blues, right? Here we go. Da, da. 5. And 5 again. Open. Yeah. Here comes our 7th fret for G. I'm just strumming all with my thumb. Opens for C. Okay, here comes our E. Yeah. Okay, last line. Our 5 for F. Here comes our 7. And what I'm going to do for the ending is I'm going to strum everything. I strummed everything on, whoopsie doodle, on this. I don't want the AI assistant. It keeps coming up. Go away. Can I make it go away? Oh, good, go away. I did a strum right there on that first open. I just strummed it all. And then I carried on plucking. And I love sliding, so I know I did a big fat slide from 2 up to 5. I did 2, O as written, and then I played another 2 and took my time sliding up to 5. Listen to this. 2, O, 2. Oh yeah. So I added in an extra 2. 2, O, 2, 5. So you can play this song as written, and you can also create some variation just by strumming everything. You may want to bracket off the areas that you want to strum if that's something you're interested in doing. And I would bracket off, like for me, I usually put a bracket here on this bar, and then down to 70, or maybe right down to the end. Sometimes, well, I change it almost all the time I play it, but sometimes what I'll do is I'll play like second line to the end. I'll go. Here I'm changing it. And I add, sometimes I'll stop doing the strum as I was doing so wildly, and I start changing it to bring it down. So I did like a full strum and then started doing those little double stops. I did strum, strum, ba, ba, just to soften it, and then that's where, yeah, you put your own personality into these songs. Let's try playing the whole shebang again. Yeah, let's do it all. So I'm just going to just play it as written is what I'm going to do right now, because the variations, like the strumming, all that stuff, do that when you're already comfortable, right? That's the first step, is to be comfortable with playing it the way it's written. And we know, essentially, you could play the first page and you're golden, right? That's just a perfect part of the fandango right there. All right, here we go. Oh, check your tuning. Yeah, okay, I'm good. That first string, because we've changed it, sometimes it goes kind of wonky. When you're lowering strings to tune them, it's best to lower it below your target note. So in this case, you wanted to lower it to a G. Bring it down to like so it's too low a bit, and then tighten it. Bring it back up to the G that it needs to be at, because then it's more likely to hold it in tune. Because the tuning bore is working to tighten it. It sounds kind of weird, but it does help. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, ready, go. 9, 7. Here goes our 5. And our C chord open. Okay, line 2, sort of G7. Back to opens. Yeah. Okay, 9th fret, here we go. So it's repeating that phrase. If you can play line 1, you can play line 3. That's sort of G7. Okay, here comes the C chord. I'm just going to stop there just for a second. Line 1, line 3, they're the same. So keep that in mind when you're going through there. Not everything is a different line, right? There's lots of common areas in this song, and that's going to make it easier for you to be comfortable going all the way through it. Okay, next section right here, bar 17. Here we go. Ready, go. And C chord. Okay, next line with that G7-ish. Back to the opens. Okay, bar 25 with number 5 there. 7th fret. And 9th fret. So pretty. And that G7-ish. Here comes the ring finger. Yeah, we kind of parked together. We were kind of a little bit off, but kind of parked together. That's cool. Okay, Next chapter. Here we go. Ready? Everyone's barring on their 5th fret. Oh yeah. Here we go. 5. And opens for C. Okay, 7th fret. And opens for C. Here goes measure 41 with the 4s. And that's your E chord. 5th fret for your F. And 7th fret for your G. Yeah. And your C chord. Strum on your 5. 2. Let's carry on your 9. Pluck. Double stops. Oh, sorry, my 9th. Let's try that again. Here we go. 9th fret now. 9 double stops. 7. Oh, barring. I'll slow it down. We've got a lot going on here. Next line with that sort of G7. Ring finger. And your C. I'm going to scroll up to where, there we go. Okay, so let's take it from measure 57. Here we go. Ready, go. Pinch, pluck, pluck, 7. And then bar on the 5. And the opens. Measure 61, that G7-ish. Big stretch up to your 4th fret. Opens. 2, 3, here we go, bar on the 5 again. Open for C. And G chord on that 7th fret. Cool. And open. Okay, 4th fret for E. Yeah. 5th fret. 7th fret. Now, you do not have to play the 0-0-0-0-2-0-5. You might just want to hit a C chord there. I just liked having a little run. That's why I added that in. But you might want to do like and just, and click on that C right there. You decide what you like, right? The strumming throughout that last part, let's try that part, okay? And that, I think, is, yeah, just this last chunk here. So from measure 49, is that right? Yeah. Talking to myself here. Is that right? I don't know. Where's my coffee? What's going on? Sip of coffee. Hang on. There we go. All right. So some of you seem to be comfortable with strumming. And I think some of you were maybe a little bit unsure about how to approach just strumming everything when you started looking at, like, what's a good example? Here, measure 53. Where you start off with opens and then you've got to lay down those fingers. That's where being comfortable with the song and knowing the shape of your hand that you use throughout the bar, that'll help. But also writing down like G7-ish. Write down those terms, whatever you need to do so that you understand how your fingers need to look for that bar, then you're good. All right, let's go for it. On the 9th fret there, measure 49. Here we go. I'll say what I'm playing for my strumming, and then I'll just say it twice. So it's going to be a down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. 9. Here comes 7. A bar on your 5. Open. Yeah. Next next line, that G7, add the ring finger, back to C. Okay, measure 57, 7th fret, bar, open. You're right on. Here comes that G7 shape. And this might be the one that gets people because your hand is holding on to the notes that you make a G7 with for 2 beats. And then I'm adding in that 4th fret there. Okay. I strum that just at the end of the bar. So I'm going to start here at measure 61 just so you can hear it. So I've got the G7, adding in my ring finger, strum, strum, put down the pinky, and then off I go to my C. Okay, so I'm going to start that whole measure over again. Here we go. 1, 2, and 3, and G7-ish. Add that ring finger, pinky, keep strumming. Yeah. 5th fret strum, bar on the 5. Open. Yeah. 7. And open. Here comes the 4th fret for E. 5th fret for F. Yeah. And G. I forgot to slow down at the end, so it suddenly was just like wham. I like how. And carry on like that. So, a nice slow down, but sometimes the train starts rolling and you miss that, miss the slow down. I'm going to stop sharing now. Ready? I'm back. I'm wondering how that felt, switching from picking to strumming. Was it something that felt okay to do in the song, or?
When I'm barring further up the fretboard, at the sevens, for example, it's hard to get the bar note clear. I mean, it's a fuzzy, muddy barring of the seven kind of.
Okay, let's run through a checklist. I'm glad you said something, Dawn. The making sure that the finger crease is not sitting over top of the string. That'll help. And here's something to keep in mind too. So when we're barring down here, fingers angled a tiny bit that way. Like it's just rolled a little bit that way because of how our hands come up. 7th fret, depending on where your instrument is sitting, might be something where you can bring your hand flat up and you want to have the finger pretty well coming like that, right? Or if you've got your instrument angled that way, you may need to apply some pressure that way a tiny bit. In the end, what you're going to, I'm just going to mute you just for a second here, and then I want to hear how it sounds. In the end, what you're going to want to do is make sure that, like when I bring my finger up there, I make sure my finger creases are not on top of the strings. And I also clamp in pretty good, because this side here is the one that usually will get muffled for me, the first string. So I go like that, tuck in my hand, or sorry, that's not my hand, that's my elbow. Head and shoulders, knees and toes. I need to know my body parts. Now your hands are also bigger than mine, so I'm not sure how big the 7th fret is for you, if your hand feels comfortable there. And now I want you to unmute yourself and tell me how your finger fits in there. Like, does it fit like?
Well, I'm finding that my second finger, my largest finger, whatever you call that one, is stronger. And actually, when I use that finger, I get a better sound up the neck.
Yeah. you'll see me often doing this these days. I'm just barring with every finger. So whatever works for you, then use that, right? Yeah, if that one works, then go for it. Having the thumb offset a little bit can help with planting. Like, not like that, but like turned like that can help too. To make sure that you've got a good grip with whichever finger you use. I often bar, for some reason, with my ring finger. I never thought in my wildest dreams I would ever bar with that finger. I think it's from playing power chords on guitar so much though, so I just flatten it. So if the middle finger works, then use that. I wonder, it might just be the placement of the finger creases too, because everyone's middle finger is typically longer, so it'll sit a little bit different on that fretboard. It's interesting, isn't it? All these little bits, right? I find for me, when I bar up here, like when the frets are tiny, what I do is you'll see where my finger might actually be sitting, like resting up against the fret on the back side, just in order to have enough room. I guess what I'm saying is, like, if you're playing somewhere and the frets are tiny, my hands aren't big, so I got to go up pretty high in order to find something that's tiny. But I will often rest my finger on the fret behind and tip forward a little bit. Let's see if you can see that. Tip forward a little bit in order to have the barring working effectively for me. Our hands are all different, right? It's such a personal thing. A shape that works perfectly for someone else might be something I would never have considered doing. But it's you find what works for you. The first thing is always, does it hurt? Then don't do it if it hurts. There's also the difference in I always try to qualify that with, it might be something where you're learning a different technique and it feels funny, or you're stretching or working differently. That's one thing. But if you try to play something and it's consistently hurting, change your body position. But Dawn, using your middle finger instead, perfect, right? It works, and this is the glory of these bar chords. It's just all the same fret. And I find this song gives such a good workout in bar chords without being miserable, because you can just play the first page and leave it at that, or you can play around with bar chords. So yeah, so the Fandango, I feel pretty good. Like, having watched you guys play it, I was trying to keep an eye on everyone's hands as much as I could while we were working through it, and I felt really good about it. I think you guys are doing a good job. It's nice. Barb, next week is going to be when we're doing the redoing that Australian guys workshop with you guys. So I'm going to look through those chords and be on the ball with it then. That'll be a good thing. And it's interesting the way he got you guys to memorize the chords, right? Just hands off, hands on, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's what he does.
I do a lot of that too.
Even take the uke off, put it down, bring it back up, put it on. we didn't do that because there was too many of us. And
oh yeah, I did that with my mandolin, because my mandolin is not an instrument I play enough that I remember the chords. So I was working on some Billy Strings tunes and some Celtic punk, and I needed the mandolin, and so I had to sit there and say my chords. And so I try to practice what I preach, was saying, like, say things out loud while you're looking at your hand. It makes a difference. Did he talk about that too, like actually looking at the chord?
yes, at first you look at the chord, strum it,
Yeah.
maybe 5 times, and then your hand memory knows where to go. and it's just down here, right? So there's not a whole bunch of movement, right? It's all within the first three frets.
That's nice, isn't it? It's handy. No pun.
Yeah, yeah. And he just did um, the the chord sheet that I gave you. He didn't even get into the song. The song was, if you wanted it, email him and he'll send it to you. But that's all he did was that for a good hour because he was talking about what he did and a
It's
few jokes in there and
well, good, right? It's that sort of focused practice that makes a big difference, right? Because he
yeah.
really got you guys to work hard for an hour without realizing you were working hard.
And I haven't played it since last week, and I could play it now, like just without even looking. I might not hit the right strings, but I know where to go.
Yeah, well, see, that's cool. Hey, just to have
Yeah.
that stuck in you, right? That's
Well,
good.
this is almost stuck in me too.
I'll
This one, I like this one.
bet.
This one's going to our Peachland Uke thing
Good.
when they come back.
Yep. Good. It's a fun one, and like you can just sit and play the first page if you want, right? Or do the whole shebang, and I like it when songs are written like that, where you can decide what you want to do with it. I don't know if
And
the go ahead.
no, you go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say I don't know if the composer intended it that way, but that's the way I'm thinking of it.
But this Spanish Fandango, it's almost like Snowdrop. Do you know Snowdrop?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. So similar to that.
Yeah.
I should look up Snowdrop again. That's a fun one. I'm going to stop recording now so that we've got this ready to go here.